Record. All right. So this is a notes from yesterday. We went over on two theorems. Again, theorem is a proven mathematical rules, principles. Okay. And this angle sum theorem that we've talked about right here, it tells you that all three angles, if you add all three angles in triangle, it is always going to be 180 degrees. And we went over on the proof yesterday. If you were not here yesterday, please watch the video. It's already uploaded in Canvas modules, okay? And you can catch up on that, okay? And we did some problems. And we also had, I introduced to you guys another theorem, and it's called exterior angle theorem. It sounds really fancy, right? But it really all saying is angle A and B, if you add them together, that's going to be equal to angle C over here. C is equal to A plus B. That's what the exterior angle theorem says. The measure of the exterior angle, which is a C, exterior angle is equal to the sum addition of the remote interior angle. Remote means a little bit far off, okay? So that's A and B. So C is equal to A plus B. And that's what we did yesterday. And we had some problems and then went over on assignment in class, okay? And so you can catch up on that if you were not here in class yesterday. And please watch the video. Now we're going to talk about just one theorem today. It's called triangle inequality theorem. Okay, but before that, let's copy this down. I want you to be familiar with some of the terminologies especially in triangle, when we talk about triangles. Those words, names, will come up very often in problems and math problems, and I would like you to know the meaning of it. First one, you might have heard this already in middle school, maybe in other high school classes. Maybe a lot of you guys are freshmen, right? But maybe you've done this in middle school, when you were in middle school. First one is obtuse angle. Have you heard this before, obtuse angle? Has anybody come across with the word obtuse angle or acute angle? Have you heard that? Has anybody heard that before? Maybe some of you, yeah. Obtuse angle is essentially the angle that are bigger, greater than 90 degrees. So for example, it looks like this. That's obtuse angle. Isn't that bigger than 90 degrees, right? That's obtuse. The next one is acute. Now, what is acute angle? It's the angle that is less than 90 degrees, something like this. Acute means sharp, isn't it? Right? So acute angles that are really sharp. Okay. And so if I said we have obtuse triangle, what does that mean? Well, it's a triangle that has obtuse angle in it. So for example, I don't know, something like that, right? The triangle has obtuse angle. And if I said we have acute triangle, now what does that mean? It means that you're going to have all three angles inside are all acute. Here's acute. Well, let's make it a little bit sharper. Acute. Everything is all acute. Acute, acute, acute. Everything is less than 90 degrees. Those are called acute triangle. And then the last one is the right triangle. Now, right, I guess I should say right angle. Right angle is same thing as 90-degree angle. I don't know what's so right about it, but somebody started calling that right 90-degree angle as a right angle. Okay, so right triangle is the triangle that contains 90 degree in it. Okay. So I will be using some of those words in the problems from now on. And so I would like you to remember that. Okay. Yeah. So looks like everybody has heard this. I used it before, right? Very good. So let's talk about triangle inequality theorem right here. You guys all ready? Let's read it. Okay. Triangle inequality theorem states that the sum of the length of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. I'd like you to read that question, the statement one more time on your own. Would you do that? It may sound, I don't know, maybe it sounds a little bit complicated to you, but it is actually talking about very simple fact. Okay. The sum, addition of the length of any two sides, right? Triangle has a three sides, okay? But you pick any two sides, that two sides, if you add them together, the length, okay, like a 5-inch and 2-inch, if you add them together, it should be bigger than the third side. Maybe it is obvious to you, or maybe it is not. In other words, you can't just create triangle out of any three numbers. It has to meet certain condition for you to create triangle. For example, I mean, let me give you an extreme example. You have 100-inch long stick, and then you have 1-inch stick, really short, then another 1-inch stick. Do you think you can create a triangle out of 100 and 1 and 1? It's impossible. Let me show you why. So here I've got lots skewers, bamboo skewers. And so let's pretend that this is a 100-inch. It's the longest stick, right? So here's a 100. And then I've got really tiny 1-inch long stick. So I'm going to connect that. And here's another 1-inch stick. Connect that. Now, do you think I can create triangle out of those three sticks? It's impossible, isn't it? In other words, these two sides has to be bigger than the third side. And clearly 1 plus 1, which is 2, 2 inches is not bigger than 100 inches. And so it's impossible to create triangle. Does that make sense? That's what triangle inequality theorem says? The sum of two sides, 1 plus 1, needs to be bigger than the third side, which is 100. Okay, and then in this case, you can't. Okay, let me give you another example. Actually, we're not going to talk about this one right here. So how about, let's see, 7, 3. 7-inch, 3-inch, and a 5-inch stick. Do you think you can create a triangle? What do you think? The answer in this case, it's going to be yes. Okay, now this is how you determine. Okay, first you're gonna just pick the longest stick, which is 7, right? Again, let's pretend that this is 7. Okay, this is 7. And then here's a 5-inch. And here is, let's say, 3-inch. Will you be able to, so in other words, you're going to add 3 plus 5. Is 3 plus 5 bigger than 7? And it is, isn't it? 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 is definitely bigger than 7, isn't it? So if you have a 5, and here's a 3, and then if you try to create that, and it's able to meet, right? And it creates a triangle because 3 and 5 is bigger than 7. 3 and 5 combined is bigger than 7. But if, again, two sides, let's say it's 2 and let's say 4 or something like that, you've got 2 and 4. Now 2 plus 4 is 6, isn't it? Now 6 is not bigger than 7. So if you try to create 2 and 4, it doesn't meet, right? It's impossible to create a triangle. And so it fails, right? Again, the sum of two sides, any two sides, should be bigger than the third side. Okay, and that's what triangle inequality theorem is. And that's pretty, it's not too bad, is it? Okay, now let's do an example, 2 examples. We're not going to talk about example 1. By the way, does anybody need more time to write this down, first of all? Does anybody need time to copy this down? Is everybody good? Well, you have to just say, I need time. Stop, just send the direct message to me and I'll wait for you. Okay, is everybody good? So let's move on. So here's example number 2. Actually, you know what? Let's do example 3 first, okay? So Gemma wants to draw a triangle and she's got 3 sticks, 4-inch, 12-inch, and 17-inch. Will she be able to form a triangle? Now there is a easy step to figure out. Okay, so I'm going to write it down. So the first step, let's say step number 1, you're going to pick the longest side, which is, in this case, what? Which one is the longest side? It's 17, isn't it? So it's 17 inches, okay? Step 2, you're going to add 2 shorter sides. You're going to add them. So you're going to do 4 plus 12, which is 16. Now, this case, 16 is less than 17, isn't it? 2 sides. Sum of 2 sides is less than the longest side. Longest side. If that's the case, then what do we say? Can she form the triangle? Then you would say conclude that triangle cannot be formed because the sum of 2 sides is shorter than the longest side. So she can't form the triangle. It's impossible. Does that make sense? If sum of 2 sides, let's write this down too. If the sum of 2 sides is bigger than the longest side, then yes, triangle can be formed. This one is a no. Triangle cannot be formed. Would you write it down? And this is how do you test it? Okay. Have you learned this in middle school by any chance? Have you seen this? Have you done something like this before? Yeah. Okay. All right. And this is a kind of a review for you. Yeah. But does it make sense though? Hopefully. Okay. Does anybody need more time for this example? All right, let's do another one. Now we're going to go over on example number 2. Is everybody okay? Is everybody ready for another example? Okay, example number 2. Here's a little different variation of a problem. It says a triangle has side lengths measuring 20 and 5 centimeters. So we already know the 2 sides, but then I'm asking, what could be the possible value for the third side? We're missing a third side. Can the third side be anything? Can x be 100? No, we can't, right? Definitely, that's too long. So my question will be, what is the highest possible value? And what's the lowest possible value that you can get? That would be the question. Is it anything over 15? Very good. And how about the highest though? So could 50 work or 60 work? What's the highest that you can go? You cannot exceed 20. So 21 doesn't work. 22. What do you guys think? What do you think is the highest that you can go? What's the ceiling and what's the floor at the bottom? Yeah, it will be the highest. It has to be less than 25 and it has to be bigger than 15. So how do you figure it out? Well, it's really simple. What you do is you've got two numbers provided, right? 20 and 5. So to figure out the ceiling, the highest possible value that it has to be less than, that would be you just add the two numbers. 20 plus 5 is 25. In other words, the third side needs to be the number less than 25. You can't pick 25 though, because 20 plus 5 is 25 and 20, they are equal to each other. So it's not going to work out. But if you pick any less than 25, that would work. How about the lowest you can go? So does any number less than 25 work? Like a 1, 2, 3, do you think that would work? Actually, it wouldn't, right? So what's the lowest you can go? And it's going to be 15. Now, what do you think I did to figure out 15? Or I think Lawrence said 15, right? Now, how did he figure out it's 15? Well, this time you're going to subtract the numbers. 20 minus 5, which is 15. In other words, x has to be less than 25, and then x has to be greater than 15, but not equal to. Does that make sense? Now, why not 25? Well, let me show you. If I have a 25 right here, and then we've got 20 and then 5, right? Now, if you try to make it, so let's say I've got let's say 25 on the bottom, and then I've got 20 and 5. If I try to make it connect, it will connect because 20 plus 5 is 25. But then as soon as I get connected, it basically collapses and becomes flat. It's no longer a triangle, is it? So it has to be, in order for it to be triangle, it has to be bigger than 20. Two sides needs to be longer than the third side, right? That's what the inequality theorem says. So it has to be bigger than 25, okay? Yeah, does that make sense? So these are the two types of problems that you can expect on the quizzes and tests, okay? So let's practice this. So let's work on the assignment now, okay? Now for those who haven't been to the class for a while, we work on the assignment during class time together, okay? So I hope this will give you incentive to come to the class and get the assignments done, okay? And so here's the assignment. Let's see. We are going to skip number 5 and number 6, okay? And then we'll just do those 6 problems, okay? And then there are more, okay? But these will go very quickly, okay?
For the answer, do we just write yes or no?
Yes and no. Yeah, I want you to, yeah. I know you can pretty much do this in all in your head, can you not? Right? But let's just at least try to show some work for the first couple of problems, okay? So the first one, so please write this down, homework 3.2, okay? The question is, decide whether each set of numbers is a triangle. If you have 15, 12, 9-inch long, let's say spaghetti sticks, will you be able to form a triangle? Okay. How do you do that? Step 1. What's the first step? Step 1 is you're going to pick the longest side. Okay, what's the longest side? Longest side is 15. And then what's the step 2? Step 2, add 2 shorter sides. Okay, is everybody with me? So let's add the 2 shorter side. So I'm going to do 12 plus 9, which is, what is that? That's 21. Now, is 21 bigger than the longest side? Does the 2 shorter side bigger than the longest side? Yes. 21 is bigger than the longest side. So the answer is yes. Yes, triangle. You can form a triangle. Yes, you can form a triangle. Okay? That's what you do. That's how you decide it. So let's do number 2. So now you lead the other question. Okay, what do you do first? What's the first step? You're going to pick the longest side, which is this 20. And then what's the second step? You're going to add the shorter 2 sides, 10 and 9. 10 plus 9 is 19. Now, what does that mean? Is 2 shorter side combined?
You
Is it
said we're skipping 5 and 6, right?
5 and 6? Yeah.
Okay.
So 19 is shorter than the longest stick, isn't it? 19 is less than 20. So what does that mean? It means no, cannot form a triangle. It's impossible. And probably are getting tired of seeing this. Here's the 20, the longest stick. And here's a 10 and 9. And 10 and 9, if you add them, it's 19. It doesn't quite all the way make it. Does that make sense? 19 is two shorter side. 10 and 9 are not long enough to form a triangle. Okay. Let's do number 3. You getting the hang of this? It's pretty easy, right? So you do number 3. Is it very good? Number 3. So what's the longest side? Longest side is 70. And now you're going to add the two shorter side. 47 plus 27. Is that bigger than 70? 60, 74. Right. 74 is definitely bigger than 70. So the answer will be yes. Yes, you can form a triangle. Now, how about number 4, though? Is it yes or no? What do you guys say for number 4?
No.
Can you form a triangle? The answer is no. Yeah? Is everybody okay on that? So let's pick the longest stick, which is 15. And so I do 5 plus 10, which is a 15, isn't it? Now, it has to be bigger than 15, but not equal to. 15 is equal to 15, right? And that is, again, no, cannot form a triangle. It's like this. Ten and 5. It does actually meet together, but when it is that those two stick is able to meet, it basically the triangle collapses. Again, when the two sides, this is 10, this is a 5, and when they are able to meet together, it basically collapses. And it's just a two straight line, isn't it? And it's not a triangle. And so for that, you cannot form a triangle. But it has to be the sum of two shorter side needs to be bigger than the third side, not equal to. Okay, so let's keep going. Number 8. Again, the longest side is 41. That is 9 plus 40. Bigger than 41? Yeah, definitely. 49 is bigger than 41. So the answer will be yes, you can form a triangle. Stephanie, which one are you talking about? Did I screw it up? Oh, 75. Yes. Obviously, I can't do some addition. It's 28 right here. I'm sorry, I messed up. This is not 27, it's 28. And then if you add that, that's going to be 75. But the answer is still the yes. Right? 75 is definitely bigger than 70. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's do number 9. Last question of this type. Again, the procedure, what's the first step? Maybe you guys are all done with this one. It's pretty straightforward, right? Once you get going, the first step is to pick the longest side. Which one is the longest side? Out of 6, 9, and 16. Definitely 16 is the longest side. Then you're going to add 2 shorter side. You do 6 plus 9, which is 15. Now, is a 15 bigger than 16? No, it's less than. So the 2 shorter side is not long enough to create the other triangle. It has to be bigger than 16 if you add the 2 numbers. So the answer is no. You cannot form a triangle. Because 16 and 6 and 9, it does not all the way make it, right? This is a 9, this is a 6. If you add them, 6 plus 9, it's not bigger than 16. So you will not be able to form a triangle. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, very good, Lawrence. So let's work on, this is the second type of a problem. And that is that I will give you 2 measurements and I want you to figure out what is the range of the third side, because third side cannot be any number. Okay, it has the the ceiling, it has the maximum number that you can go up to, and there is the lowest number that you can go to. Okay, what's the third number should fall in between? Between what 2 numbers must the third number be at? So let's figure out. Let's go through the step one more time. The first step, to figure out the highest number that you can go to, all you do is you just add the 2 numbers. It's really easy, right? You do 9 plus 15, and which gives you what? Gives you 24. That means that the third number has to be less than 24. It cannot be 24, but it has to be less than 24. So any number that you pick less than 24, 23, 20, 22, 21, 20, or even decimal, 21.5, that would work. Now, how about the lowest number that you can go to? For that number, what do you have to do? You're going to subtract, find the difference. And you just pick the bigger of the 2. So 15 first. So 15 minus 9. So that the answer will be positive number. 15 minus 9 will be 6. That means it has to be bigger than 6. Okay. So let's answer. It has to be between 6 and 24. Any number you pick between 6 and 24, it would work. Okay. If you go beyond that, or if you go lower than 6, it's not going to work out. Let me show you. Let's say if I pick, let's say, lower than 6, like a 4. If you pick, do you think 4 could be the third side of a triangle, along with the 9 and 15? It wouldn't, because 9 plus 4 is not going to be bigger than 15, right? And so 4 is not going to work out. And if you pick a number bigger than 24, let's say like a 25 or 26, it's not going to work out, because now 26 is the biggest side. And if you add 9 plus 15, it's not going to be bigger than 26. So 26 will not work out. Yeah, does that make sense? So let's do number 11. So what would you do? What's the highest number that you can go to? How do you figure out? One more time. You are going to add those two numbers. 11 plus 20, which is, very good, thank you, 31. So the 31 is the highest. Well, it has to be lower than 31. Okay. 30.99999. That's the highest that you can go to. But you can't go to 31. Now, how low can you go? For that, you're going to find the difference. So if you use the bigger number first, 20 minus 11, which is 9. So the third number needs to be between 9 and 31. 9 and 31 will work. Any of those numbers will work between 9 and 31. Is everybody okay? Or number 12. So you do that this time. Number 12 and number 13. That's it. That's it for today. But let's take care of number 12 and number 13. Yeah, is everybody okay? So the first step, you just add them together. 23 plus 14. And that will give you 37. So the 37 is the maximum you can go to. And then next one, the low that you can go is 23 minus 14, which is 9. So it has to be between 9 and 37. Are you getting the hang of this? The last question. 5 plus 8. That's 13. That's the highest you can go. Or it has to be lower than 13. And then 8 minus 5 is 3. So the 3 is the lowest. 13 is the highest. So it has to be between 3, and 13. What do you guys think? Is this doable? It's not too bad, right? I hope. Okay. All right. So this is it. Is Luke still here? Yeah. Okay. Very good. So please make sure you take a picture of this assignment and then let's turn it in right now. Okay. And that's all I have for today. I know we have a little bit, leftover time. If you need any help of retaking Unit 2 tests, please remain in the class. And also, Luke, if I could just have a chat with you, that would be great. Okay. So, with that, have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Take care, guys. Hey, how are you doing? Let's turn off the